Yo, what's up guys? It's Mike here from Aerovox Studios, and today we're going to get into how you should Melodyne your vocals. Alright, so let me show you the track. We're only going to play the first two lines of the hook because I just want to keep this short and sweet for you guys today. Alright, so here we go.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could, I spent the season alone. I can't forget.
Alright, did you notice anything? It's kind of hard to tell with all those background vocals going on, right? Let's solo the two vocals I'm talking about.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could, I spent the season alone. I can't forget.
Okay, not a bad performance at all, but there are definitely a couple of incorrect pitches in those lines, mainly in the second line, right? If we're gonna fix that, first thing I wanna do is make a new audio track. Shift Command N, hit 2, bam. We got two audio tracks. Double click there, we're gonna go CHLV Mel 1, Command A, Command C, Command right, paste, right, delete 2.
You win. Perfect.
All right, now we got those two labeled. Next thing we want to do is take these two tracks, select them both, Shift Option click, and then type in the name of the bus that they are going to. So they're going to the same place that the original tracks are. Now, since there's not going to be any inserts, any of my vocal chain is not on here, these two tracks are going to just be the Melodyne tracks. And the reason why I'm going to bring these two clips of audio down here like this is because if I take Melodyne and I move it down to these tracks, and then I take my audio and load it into Melodyne there, I'm gonna save myself a slot up here on the inserts bay. All right, so we definitely want to save that slot. Okay, so we're gonna mute these vocals now, and we are gonna solo these guys. Okay, so once we got our audio on the new tracks like that, we got Melodyne on the audio tracks as the very first insert. It's the very first thing we want to do. Okay, we want to then transfer the audio. So I got two Melodyne, so I'm gonna have to hit transfer twice. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, hold shift and open up both Melodyne windows, and I'm about to push spacebar to load the audio into Melodyne. Okay, and what I never want to do while this is happening is click any other plugins or try to open up anything else, because I don't want it to tamper with the reading of the input signal here. Okay, sometimes I've had it like chop out a piece of audio when it's trying to load up a plugin or something like that. We don't want that problem happening. All right, so let's load it in.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could, I spent the season alone.
Okay.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own.
This is our first line because
I did the best
it says
that I
right here.
could, I spent the season alone.
This is our second line.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own.
So what we're gonna do is just focus on the first line first. Okay. Now, the main thing you want to pay attention to in Melodyne is keeping an eye at the line, the squiggly line, right? And look for where it separates from these blobs. So the line, okay, and the blob. All right, what we want to do is we want to use our cut tool, the note separation tool, to cut the blobs. All right, so that they sit with these lines a little better. Okay. See what's going down? Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna cut up every single one of these. And I don't always like to go all the way through the track like this, because when you try to undo something, if you've done a bunch of work, you know, you might have to start over again if there's one spot that you didn't like where you cut. Okay, that could be a bad thing, but having had done this once before, I remember that I'm not going to have any problems with it making any weird sounds. Okay, so now that I have them all cut out like this, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the song is in the right key. If the Melodyne's not set to the right key, then it could be 1 or 2 notes off. You could be very close maybe, but when we snap this to notes in a key, it could be landing on the wrong note. We don't want that. So if you're one of those guys that's using like an auto key finder, I guarantee you that thing is not going to be 100% correct. And the worst part about the auto key finder, from my experience, is that Melodyne here, I have the Melodyne Studio or whatever the highest one is, and it's got an automatic key recognition software built into it, and it's always wrong. So the only reason why this one knows F major is because I put F major in a different Melodyne somewhere else. I typed it in, and now every single Melodyne that I open, it has the key already there. But I would not be using the key recognition software if I were you. What I would do is, if you have to use the software, then you might want to play out the notes in that key and make sure that all 7 of those notes sound good. If they don't, if there's just 1 or 2, I'm telling you, then pick the other key that the software recommends, but not all of them do that. Okay, so I actually use a guitar to figure it out every time, or I use a piano every single time. So drop a comment below if you're using that key recognition software and it's working for you. Also drop a comment down below if you want to know how I'm finding this key. Okay, I can show you an easy way. We can make a video on that if you guys like. So we know it's F major. What we're gonna do is Command A, and we're gonna snap all these to the key. Now see how they're all landing on notes now? Like, it doesn't look all out of control like it did before, right? And I see here that I missed one. Okay, and I'm pretty sure I want that note to go there and that note to go there. Just by the way I could see this up squiggle going, tells me this note should go up there. Okay, so let's have a listen to where the notes landed, and we'll probably have to make a few adjustments to make this correct. All right,
Don't look at me now, you're better on your...
So right here, I'm hearing it's going really fast to the notes. So we're gonna slow that transition down.
Better on your own.
Okay, I hear this note is flat. And every other spot that I cut, I kind of want to smooth out that transition slope. Okay. Like, for example, look at what this guy's doing. See that line going real high up there? Okay, we're gonna fix that. And we're gonna just slow that transition down. All right, see this right here? We're gonna slow this down. Okay. I'm not really too tripping on this little guy right there. It's whatevs. Oh, whatevs. Yeah, you can select a couple of them and do a couple at the same time. I don't like to do them all at once because it can get a little weird when you do that. You could end up doing it in some areas that you don't really want to have that sound.
Your own.
Okay. So this last note here is supposed to come up.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own.
Okay, let's turn off the Melodyne and see what it sounded like before.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the... Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did...
Hear how much tighter the pitches are, like, just being locked right to the note that they need to be. All right, so let's do this one more time. Let's get the second line, right? I'm doing Option Control, and then I'm clicking and dragging this window out. We're gonna pull up that note separation tool, and we are gonna cut all these spikes out. I'm not gonna mess with this spike. This one looks a little strange, and I'm not gonna mess with these downward slopes too much. I don't know, we'll try it. And let's just see what happens. Okay, and what we'll do here is just do this first chunk. Now we know it's in F major, so I have a feeling I'm going to want to put the majority of these notes to F major. These guys down here, I think we're going to want them on D.
I did the best that
And I think this has to come... Nope. Alright, we'll leave it.
I did the best that I could.
Okay, that's sounding pretty good. Okay. Just cutting away. And this line right here, this last word, was the most pitchiest one of both of the lines. Okay. So,
the best that I could. I spent the season alone.
This. That's right. Okay. So let's now slow down some of these transitions because I can hear it's just pulling things a little too weird. And this one here is an example of what I'm talking about.
I did the best that I could.
And we're going to grab this guy. Pull it down. Might grab that one above right there too.
I said I could. I spent the season.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's just see what it does.
But I spent best that I could. I spent the season.
Okay. I don't think that's what we want.
Best that I could. I spent.
See how it sounds real T-pained, real auto-tuned, right? We can't really slow that transition down. We're going to put that natural thing back, so I'm just going to undo.
Best that I could. I spent the season.
We're going to undo one more time until we get back to there.
Best that I could. I spent the season alone.
Okay. I'm liking that. It sounds a little more natural. It gives it a nice smooth descent from that note down to the next one, right? And then this is all corrected down here real nicely.
Alone.
Alone sounds much better. So let's listen to this line without the Melodyne.
I did the best that I could. I spent the season alone.
Okay, with it.
I did the best that I could. I spent the season alone.
Okay.
I did the.
Sounds pretty nice. Now, some people might stop right here, you know? They'll just leave it at the Melodyne state. I like to go one step further. And we're going to hit the auto-tune after the Melodyne, okay? We're going to use auto-tune real-time advanced. I like this one. It's a little simpler to look at. What we're going to do, crank the speed all the way up. We'll humanize all the way up. What humanize does is it allows realism to be sustained at notes at high retune speed. So it's trying to make it not sound so robotic. So we'll turn this all the way off first. Select these two lines. Let's play them with the beat.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could. I spent the season alone.
Not bad, right? Let's turn up the humanize, see what that does.
Don't look at me now, you're better.
And we forgot one important rule. We didn't set the key here, so it ain't doing nothing. Because it was in F chromatic. So it was just, C chromatic. It was just playing the notes that were already there. Let's put it to F major, and let's put it in the right range. The singer is not singing really super high, so we don't want a soprano. We'll put it at alto tenor, and we'll copy this down to our second one. And the way I did that is, with the plugin open that you want to copy, you Shift Command C, then click the next plugin, and Shift Command V, okay?
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could. I spent the season alone.
Okay, so there's what it sounds like with the right key being selected and with the humanize and retune all the way up. So let's play it without the humanize.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could. I spent the season.
So you could hear how it's much more robotic, right? So what we want to do is turn down the retune speed so we get a little less of that, right? So let's copy that on both of those, and let's just hear where it's a little, very, very little bit of robotic.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could. I spent the season alone.
We're gonna bring this down to like 20.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I spent the season
And let's
alone.
go see if we can touch better a little bit.
Don't look
better.
at me now, you're better on your
Because these guys are still sounding just a little wild to me. Let's see if we take this one up.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could, I spent the season alone.
I don't think it's going to let me get away with this, but we'll try it.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own.
See, it just sounds weird. Takes a little bit of the life out of it.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own.
That's better to me.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your
See, I like it starting high and just having the one little vibrato-y type thing going on there. That's what we do to get the vocals tuned. All right, so let's assume I did more than just these two lines. I did all the way through these tracks right here, okay? The rest of the 6 other audio clips that we got there, right? So they would all be down here and they would all get melodined, and then they would go through the auto-tuner, okay? Now I want to commit this. So I select those 2 tracks, I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna hit commit. And what this is gonna do is make sure we get our edit selection, okay, in here. We don't need to consolidate clips, we don't need to render any automation, we don't have any sends or group assignments, but if we did, it would copy them down to the tracks that they're about to spit out. The tracks that are coming out, we want to insert after the last selected tracks, which are the 2 we got down here. And the 2 tracks that we're looking at, we can actually have those hidden and made inactive. Okay? Or you can have it do nothing, or you can have them just make it inactive. But I never have it delete. Never. I mean, all my Melodyne work, I just save it. When I get done with committing right here, you'll see what I'm going to do with these tracks. I'd hide and make them inactive, essentially. So that's what it did. It automatically did it because I told it to hide them and make them inactive. And those tracks are over here, okay, in my track window. All right, so here's these 2 tracks, right? Now let's assume it's the whole entire vocal like I'm talking about for the chorus, the lead. Just make a little clip group, so that way we'll just pretend there's some audio in the rest of this group right here. I'm gonna go with P, go up to this selection, make my selection, hold shift and go up with P one more time. And I'm gonna do shift option M. That puts these pieces of raw audio that haven't been tuned on a new playlist. And I know that because these little squares right here turned blue. And when they're not blue, that means there's no playlist on them. So I just added them on another playlist. And now we have our tuned vocal up here. And we don't need any Melodyne or auto-tune on these 2 tracks. This is Waves tune. All right, we're not gonna rock with that. And now I have the audio here to go through my vocal chain. My notch filtering, channel strip, 2 compressors, a de-esser, and last but not least, the big homie vocal writer, okay? After all the plugins, it's gonna hit the effects that I have on the track, right? So let's give it a listen through the vocal chain and all of the effects with the beat.
Don't look at me now, you're better on your own. I did the best that I could, I spent the season alone.
Not bad, right? So that pretty much wraps it up for how I would pitch correct vocals, how I would tune vocals, how I would Melodyne vocals, when and where I would be using the auto-tune. I always like to Melodyne before I do the auto-tuning, so the auto-tune knows what notes that performance is supposed to be corrected to. That's crucial. Yo, so if you liked what I showed you today, make sure you give that like button a little tappy tap. Make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button and treat yourself. Don't beat yourself. Hit that notification bell. It goes a long way to help out the channel, and I will be forever grateful. I love you guys so much. Thanks for stopping by, and I will catch you at the next one. Peace.